Do you ever find yourself beating yourself up for beating yourself up? Do you have this thought about your body? Maybe it's you have this soft, squishy tummy and you're thinking, I hate my belly. It's so ugly. And then you have this other thought, maybe something like, oh, but this is where, because I gave birth to my children and I love them and I shouldn't be thinking this about my belly, or I know better. I know that this is just society's conditioning, but like, I can't believe that I'm thinking this about myself. And then it just turns into this shame spiral where you just keep going down and down and down into like self judgment and beating yourself up. I know it's something that I certainly have done a lot, and it's certainly something I can still get caught in. So what can we do when we find ourselves in this shame spiral? And so really it's firstly being able to notice that we're in the shame spiral. And there's kind of two ways that you can do this. The first one is starting to really be aware of your emotions. So what are you feeling when you're in this shame spiral? Is it sadness? Is it anxiety, shame, judgment, disgust? Like really anything that's kind of negative that really makes you feel ooh, is a good indication that we're thinking a lot of things right now that are not supporting us, that are not working for us. So really just firstly becoming aware, feeling these, and then also noticing the sensations in the body too. So does it feel like maybe a punch to the gut, or like a sinking feeling, or a knot in the stomach, or just this kind of pit in your stomach, or maybe some anxiety in the chest, or it could be some tightness in the shoulders, or maybe your jaws clench. Like just being aware of how are you feeling, and give yourself some space to feel that. And I know that this goes so counter to what we typically do. But when we can actually just, as best as possible without judgment, just let ourselves feel it. Because judgment, the interesting thing about the emotions is that they're tied to thoughts. So there was something that we were thinking that ended up causing this emotional, physical reaction in our body. So when we can just sit with it and really just let ourselves feel it, even I know when it's difficult and it's like, I don't want to feel it. Can we just notice, okay, I'm now resisting. I like just feeling all of that and say, I'm just going to breathe through this. I'm just going to feel this. And then eventually it will start to dissipate. That's kind of the first thing that we can do to help kind of cut off the shame spiral, is actually just come really present, because it's the thoughts that build onto each other that end up causing us, they can keep the emotions going, but it keeps us going down and down. And the second thing that we can do is we can, if we have this awareness, to really like notice what it is that we're thinking. And instead of making this about ourselves, notice that it's just a thought. Name it for what it is. It's like, oh, I'm having this thought about whatever. And just notice it. Just be like, oh yeah, there it is. I'm having this thought that my belly is not okay, that it's ugly. I'm having this thought that because of my body, people aren't going to accept me. I'm having this thought about that. And and that helps to create this separation between what it is that we're making that mean about ourselves. Because that's really what it comes down to, is we have this thought, we think it's going to mean this, and then we just get really stuck in this mental space. So just like, okay, these are these thoughts. I notice them. And the thing about thoughts is that we can't really control them. I don't know about you, but I certainly can't control my thoughts. If I wake up in the morning and I have a thought, did I consciously have that thought? Did I say, oh, this is the thought that I'm going to have right now? And when I really sit to think about it, if I'm just sitting here staring out the window and I have thoughts, did I actually intentionally think them, or did they just happen? Thoughts just happen. You'll often hear meditation teachers talk about thoughts are like passing clouds. The sky, I was just going to go with this like analogy of the sky, thinking things like, okay, let's just set that aside. Clouds just happen in the sky. They move. And that's exactly what happens with our thoughts. So if we can just start to separate ourselves from being so caught in them and just start to be like, okay, I notice I'm having these thoughts right now. And just watch them. Just notice them. What I know to be true for myself is that when I'm feeling this anxiety, it means that I have attached to a thought or a concept about myself that actually isn't really true for me. It's often things that I have beliefs or ideas that have just been conditioned into me from growing up in this society. And then I believe them and they hurt. And that's my indication to myself, like there's something going on here that's not really true. And then I can go the next step and start to question the validity of it. But the first step to just really break free from this energetic like spin, this sort of downward pull, because it really is this energy, is to just, first thing is to notice and sit with these emotions. Can we just, even if you can, relax into it. Thinking of like, can I give space for this emotion to just be here right now? And I'm not saying that it's easy, because especially if we don't have practice with this, if this is not what we were taught to do, if it's not what we're used to, it's going to feel very uncomfortable. But like anything new, over time when we practice it, it's going to become easier to do. So noticing the feeling, allowing ourselves to sit with it, and then noticing the thoughts. I'm having this thought about my belly. Okay, it's just, this is there. It's in my space. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. In fact, I'm going to say that it's probably not true if it's causing a lot of anxiety, whatever is attached to that. But just notice, feel, and notice. You don't have to do this all the time. This doesn't have to become a new thing. Notice if there's stress about, that comes onto, well, now this is the thing I have to do all the time. That's another thought. Oh, notice that. Sit with the emotion. So try it out. Let me know how that goes for you. And if you feel like you're in a space where you're really wanting to do some more work on freeing yourself from these shaming thoughts, the ideas that you have in the relationship to your body, if you want to sort of leave this constant fixation of needing to lose weight or whatever it may be, and you want to do some more work, I do offer an 8-week one-on-one coaching program that's very individualized and tailored to you, where we can walk through step by step every week to really start to let go of these beliefs and move forward into a way of being with yourself that feels right for you, and that's more peaceful and kinder. So I have a link below where you can check that out. And if you haven't already, you can download my free Body Acceptance Jumpstart Guide that has a lot of resources, great people to follow, books to read that can sort of help you on this journey to ending the shame spiral with your body and just feeling okay and in the body that you have. Bye for now.